Haha, white people saving jazz once again! La La Land, released in 2016, and is directed by Damien and Chazelle, who's also behind such films like Whiplash, First Man, and Babylon. And this film is starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. And the reason why we're talking about La La Land today, which is a Best Picture winner for like the shortest amount of time, like 6 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. But the reason why we're talking about La La Land today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel, Dr. Camp. Thank you very much for this recommendation. And I know when you sent over this bundle and this recommendation that you said I have been mentioning several times over the years that La La Land is the reason why this YouTube channel exists, and that's absolutely true. I remember watching this, I think this was in March of 2017, yeah, 2017, because it was right after it came out, and after I watched this, I just felt inspired. It inspired me to create my own narrative, especially when it comes to creation and the performing arts. That's what Mia's character does in this film. She creates her own opportunity. She makes her own one-woman show when she presents it, regardless whether it was to like 4 or 5 people, but she still created that opportunity for herself, and I found that very impactful and very powerful. But the big message that I got from this film is that the only way that you can experience love and appreciate love from someone else is when you finally learn to love yourself. You have to be able to love and appreciate yourself first before anyone else is able to love you. And I just, like, I break down crying about that every single time, because I went through a long string of depression where I wasn't doing what I got my degree in, I wasn't acting, I wasn't performing, I wasn't doing anything. I was kind of just existing, going to a 9-to-5 job that I absolutely hated, making money to pay bills, and I didn't find that comforting, I didn't find that amusing. So after watching this, the bug in me just went off, and I'd been a huge fan of the Schmodown and the Shows No movie show back when everything was popular with reviewing movies with Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis and all of them over at AMC Movie Talk, and then it moved to Collider, Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, all of these different people on YouTube that I was just watching, and they were making a living talking about something that I enjoyed talking about. And there were a lot of points where I was like, I feel like I could do this better in some cases. I'm not saying that I'm better, but there are certain reviews out there that are like, I could definitely talk way more in depth than you are talking about this topic. And I also believed in myself, and I believed that my voice had a place on this platform of YouTube. So after I watched this movie in 2017, I did an all-nighter. I stayed up, I came up with the idea, I came up with the concept, I came up with the logo, I came up with the presentation, I came up with everything. And I put it in a file, and I put it on ice for a couple of months just to make sure that's exactly what I wanted to do. And then when I saw Wonder Woman later that year in 2017, I'm like, yep, finally doing this. I love this movie. I love this idea. I'm finally going to do it. Probably my biggest regret is that I didn't start this sooner, because I'd had the idea for several years. I know eventually I'm going to get to talk to La La Land people out there who are checking into this to watch La La Land, I promise you. But this movie has a very special place in my heart, and I wanted to share the story, especially to Dr. Camp, since he sent over this recommendation and paid for it. I wanted to share the story about why this movie is so impactful for me and why this channel doesn't exist without me watching this movie. So there you go. So if anyone else out there also wants to be like Dr. Camp and help support me, contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. Mia is a struggling actress who's constantly being denied for every role that she goes out and auditions for. And Zeb is a very talented jazz musician that lacks the confidence in starting his own business, but is also afraid of selling out to the man so that he can actually start making money to eventually save the musical art form of jazz. Well, eventually these two cross paths with each other and become infatuated with each other, and through their years-long journey of getting to know one another, they inspire each other to go out and make it big in LA. Oh, and it's a musical, by the way. I know I didn't mention that, but you should know, if you haven't seen this movie, It's a musical. Just look at the poster of them striking that pose that I'm sure every dance professional out there is going to look at Ryan Gosling and go like, oh my god, would you straighten out that arm, please? But it is a modern day take on the classical film and Broadway musical. And just like a lot of those classic musicals, we're not talking like Julie Andrews, stuff like that, where there is beautiful singing in them, but if you go back to like the Gene Kelly days, if we go back to Singin' in the Rain, which is an amazing movie, by the way, but if you look at the singing in that movie, it's not the best. Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, they can carry a tune. It's not always pleasant to be listening to all the time, though. And the same thing can be said for this film. It doesn't have the best singing. There's a lot of airiness to it. There's not a lot of support when it comes to what they're singing. It's very naturalistic. It's not really performative in any way, which I think professional musicians would probably find annoying. But it does work in this style and what the director was going for. And like I told you, I'm not watching this movie for beautiful singing. I'm not watching this film to see amazing musical performances, which, by the way, Ryan Gosling does a lot of his piano work in here. Like, he's actually playing the piano, which is so freaking cool. But Emma Stone does have a great song in here for her final audition, when she talks about her grandmother or her aunt living in Paris. That's what lands her the big role, to where she finally makes it big. And the reason why these performances, I feel, connect with me is through the story and through the emotion. Through the technical stuff, no, not really. It's not the best singing. It's not the best playing of a piano that I've ever heard. It's pretty cool, but it's not the best. But it is through this message of finding your inner happiness and being happy in your life, because that's all that you have. And you have to be happy with yourself first before you can allow yourself to be loved by anyone else. And that's why, it doesn't work between these two. You want them to work, and that's when we get that beautiful montage at the end that, God, it would have been great if we would have been happy with ourselves and we would have loved ourselves. We could have gone down this entirely new, different path. But that's not how life works. Life takes you down several different paths that you weren't planning for. It's just such an impactful message to me, and whenever I think about it, it makes me happy, it makes me hopeful, and it just makes me love this movie so much. Plus, this movie does take me down like a rabbit hole every once in a while of just watching a whole bunch of different flash mobs, whether it's people in malls, people at convenience stores, people in high school doing it for like their senior end of the year video or whatever. I love going down rabbit holes of It's Another Day of Sun, the opening of this movie that they actually shot on the LA Express, on the LA highway that is almost impossible to drive on. It's a great dance number. It's a great musical number. Again, it's paying tribute to those classical musicals that we got in classic films back in the 30s and in the 40s, just done with a modern sense. And in my opinion, this film should have definitely won Best Picture, which it did for a few minutes. Definitely over Moonlight, which ended up officially winning. And that movie just angers me. It just frickin' angers me. It has good parts, it has good characters, but it's 3 different chapters, and you don't see the progression of this character. We just go in, oh, here he is as a kid, oh, here he is as a teenager, and then, oh, here he is as an adult. We don't see the progression of what happened there. It's bullshit. But La La Land is good. I'm gonna give La La Land 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
So guys, if you've seen La La Land, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.